What's going on, everybody? It's your mom's favorite realtor, Eric Landry with the Eric Landry team, Keller Williams Jacksonville Realty. And it's hurricane season here in Florida, and everybody knows what that means. Hurricanes can be a scary thing. We didn't have a whole lot of winter this last year, so the experts are predicting a busier than average hurricane season. So I just wanted to show you guys some of the things that I have and would recommend highly to you to be prepared for a storm or some type of severe power outage, some type of issue. Full disclosure, I don't really consider myself a prepper per se, but Hurricane Katrina, when I saw that on the news and saw how badly it impacted those people, it really made me think, a lot about what am I doing for me and my family? How can I provide for my family to get the best possible outcome for any of these big storms? So here's what I have accumulated over the last few years. Just wanted to show you guys some of this, make some recommendations. Link is going to be in the bio for everything you see here, or everything that's at least findable right now. So let's jump right into it. Number one, we'll start with the biggest thing, my wind generator. This thing is super handy to have. It's extremely quiet. It will power your window unit like you see here. We're out in my man cave. So it'll power the window unit in the man cave. No problems at all. I can even run a light, fans, and a small AC off of just this one thing if I need to. So definitely a great thing. It's not going to power your entire central unit system, things like that. But if you need fans, if you need lights, and you need window unit ACs, things like that, this is your guy. Oh, and it will also help prevent your food from spoiling in the refrigerator, because you can just connect this thing every day like I've had to do before, run it for about an hour or so like that, bring that fridge temperature back down, and you'll save, probably hundreds of dollars on frozen foods. So definitely a recommended item to get. Super quiet. I love this thing. A little something else that I like. This is considered kind of a comfort item. I love Ryobi tools. I'm not a contractor or anything like that. I'm just a barely handyman at home. So I have a lot of Ryobi stuff. I really like that they all use the same battery, which is what drove me towards them anyways. I like the fact that everything basically is compatible, and I love modularity and compatibility. So this thing works great. I've actually used this. We lost power for a few days through one of our hurricanes that we had here in the last couple of years. And with a 4-hour battery in this, it'll run on high for about, I think I got about 6.5 hours worth of fan out of it. So if you're like me, you need a fan to sleep, you need some air circulating, you need something going on, this thing works great. They have bigger, more potent versions of that now. So definitely you can look into those too. Something that I recommend, I don't really have a ordered one per se, but a first aid kit. This is kind of an ouchie boo-boo kit. I've got things in here like ibuprofen, Aleve, bandages, mole skin for blisters, burn cream, antiseptic ointments, anything like that that you might need. If you're out there clearing stuff out of your yard, you got a tree that fell down, you've got some issues that you need to clean up. And this is all just in case, it's a bit of a pain for any type of emergency rescue services to get to you. And it's always a good idea to have a nice little first aid kit. These little things are inexpensive and they are awesome. They take 3 AA batteries, they fold down really compact, and these are really nice to have. You can get some that are solar powered as well that would be nice to have, but this is just what I have. I got a deal on these back in the day, so I think there's a lot of companies that make this type of light, but a great little light. If you've got no power, how do you cook your food? So I picked up one of these little things for people that like coffee. You can boil water for coffee. You can, put a fry pan on here. There's bigger versions of this. I also have my grill that I can cook on, but I didn't want to bring that in here. So this is just a nice little thing to have if you don't want to have to fire up a whole grill. Just takes these little 1-pound propane cylinders. So super handy thing to have around. Little light reading. Like I said, I'm not necessarily a prepper, but I find some of this stuff interesting. Survival Medicine Handbook. The thing that really stood out to me about Hurricane Katrina is there was nobody coming to help. So if you get a bad gouge or gash on your leg or your arm or something like that, or you get hurt, any information that you have is good information. I always say information is something that can never be taken from you. So big fan of that. For you or the kids, having an iPad or some type of tablet. A lot of times, at least in my experience, the cell towers are still up and running. So it's nice to have something like this to keep track of what's going on. Keep your kids busy, with whatever games kids are playing right now. And if you don't want to charge this on the inverter generator, maybe this is doing something else. This little thing here is super handy. I got this. It's a car jump charger, but I've used this more. I've used it a few times to jump people's vehicles. Never had to use it on mine, but I've used it several times to help, friends and strangers in parking lots and stuff like that. But this also will recharge tablets and cell phones. It'll probably recharge that tablet, I would say 3 times, recharge your cell phone maybe 7, 8 times. And then if you want, you can just plug this into here and recharge it to get this back up in full charge. So this is a really handy thing to have. If you're not interested in preparation for hurricanes or anything like that, you just need this in your car. I'm not a big fan of hooking my jumper cables up to people's vehicles and things like that. I actually blew an alternator out like that one time. Maybe I didn't know what I was doing. I hooked it up wrong. I don't know. But now I don't have to worry about messing up my car to help somebody else. We've had boil water advisories here where I live before. So I picked up something like this, little Sawyer squeeze water filtration system. So if you have any pathogens in your water, if your city or county has given boil water advisories, these things are great. For the price, these you can't go wrong with these types of things. Sanitation, always nice to have some Clorox wipes or some type of sanitizing wipes to keep things clean. You don't want to get infected when there's bad storms, trees are down, things like that. Maybe the hospitals are just packed out or booked, or maybe you can't even get to one. So something like that is nice to have. These are kind of cool. I picked up, I have a couple different ones of these. These are handy for finding out what's going on with the storm. We have a very strong public radio station here in our area. And last time the storm came, we just sat around and we all kind of took turns cranking this thing and seeing how long we could get a radio signal for how many cranks we got. So I think we cranked it 100 times and got 20 minutes worth of radio signal. So that's really nice. You can also just connect and put batteries in here and not have to crank it if you don't want to. But having the crank, I think, is a really good thing to have. Most of these will come with AM, FM. You'll get like a World band or some type of emergency band in there. So that's a nice thing to have. I have another one here, same type of concept. This one is from Eton. You just crank it up. This one actually has a little flashlight on it as well, little signal light. So something like this, they're not expensive and they're nice to have to find out what's going on in the storm in your area. Another thing that I bought that I didn't realize how much I would like having one of these is a battery organizer. Rather than have everything in a basket up on top of the fridge like we used to have, everything goes in here. So I can tell at a glance if I'm low on something, if I need to pick up some more batteries of a certain size, I know where we're at with this. And it's super handy where you can just grab and go if you need to. And a lot of these will come with the testers, which is super awesome. So what am I forgetting? Oh, a couple things. You might not need something like this. I've had this for probably going on 5 years now. My Ryobi Pulsar, it takes the 40-volt system. This thing is fantastic. Again, I'm not a lumberjack. I'm not a tree trimmer guy or anything like that. I'm just a homeowner. But I've had branches that have fallen in the yard, big branches that I don't want to get out there and whack on with a machete or something like that. This thing makes short work of things. If you've got branches touching on your roof or brushing on your roof and you don't want to risk getting up on top of a big tall ladder, these actually come with extension poles, so you can get that thing up to like 10 feet. They work fantastic, and I highly recommend that everybody have something like that at home so they can clean up their yard when the time comes. Another thing, nice set of rubber boots. Going out in the sloshing, a lot of times the yard's mucky. Last time we lost power, we had the front of our house was knee deep in water. So having a set of rubber boots, comes in super handy to keep your feet from getting nasty. You don't want to mess up your shoes and socks, and just having wet feet is miserable. So something like that is fantastic to have. Something that I forgot to put here, but also a good thing. I've read something recently that said like 35% of American homes do not own a manual can opener, which I thought was wild because, I've always owned a manual can opener. I've never owned an electric can opener. But having a manual can opener, if you don't have one, get one. They're not expensive. And if the power goes out and you don't want to run, your generator just to open up a can of something and it doesn't have one of them convenient pop tops, but you want to heat it up, on your little single burner stove, you want to make some soup or some chili or something like that, a manual can opener is going to be great. So hope this was helpful. I hope it's something that you like. I'm going to have a link in the bio for all of this stuff here, or at least everything that I can find. And got to be prepared. Hurricane season's coming, and just Don't be one of those people that gets caught in the hurricane and you're just a victim to your circumstances. So do what you can. You got to protect you and your family. Hope you guys have a great day. Stay safe out there. Have a hopefully a safe hurricane season, and we'll talk soon. Bye-bye.